What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the North Shore 9 postgame show powered by Primanti Brothers. I'm Jim. With me is Doug. Doug, we've got a great win to talk about tonight. So everybody put your hashtag RaiseIts in the chat. Doug, how's your late Saturday evening going?
It's going very well, Jim. Thank you. How's yours?
You know what? It's going good. It's officially June also on the East Coast, which makes sense because Bryan Reynolds went 3 for 5 today. But yeah, let's get into this. What a game. And of course, Doug, I'm referring to the Louisville Cardinals beating #1 Vanderbilt 3-2 tonight, by the way.
I thought you were talking about the Pacers beating the Knicks. Okay.
I got to sneak that
on the wrong pod.
I got to sneak that in there. Louisville heading to the regional finals. But no, Pirates 5, Padres nothing. Bailey Falter just continuing an outstanding May performance. Some timely hitting by the Buccos. They went 4 for 11 with runners in scoring position today. Like I said, Bryan Reynolds continues to be hot. Andrew McCutchen went deep. Oneil Cruz was getting hits. IKF's hitting over 300. All kinds of good stuff happening. But yeah, we'll get into all that. Let me first tell you all about BetOnline, though. It's the world's most trusted betting platform and your #1 source for all your sports betting action. Baseball season is in full swing, and we're into the NBA and NHL playoffs, and BetOnline has more ways to stay in on the action with the latest odds, news, and scores, even live in-game betting while the games are being played. With the largest selection of odds on everything from MLB, NBA, NHL, and UFC, BetOnline remains the best online source for all your sports wagering info. In between games, head over to the BetOnline casino with all the top Vegas-style games, including poker and live casino. BetOnline, the game starts here. All right. Let's dive into this, Doug. Like I said, it was a pretty awesome game.
It was just about a perfect game from the Pirates, right? I mean,
it was.
They really can't play much better than this. It was great to see. You got it every portion of the game. You know, they played well in, right? Good starting pitching, good bullpen, timely hitting, some extra base hits. It turned a couple double plays. I mean, this is as well as they can play. And, to beat the Padres in San Diego, to beat the Padres is something they don't do much. So, and after a tough loss last night, they bounced back really nicely. It was really nice to see.
Yep. Penn with a comment here. Thanks for the super chat. Good to see this team win 2 in a row in San Diego. They've only won 1 in a row, but maybe 2 in a row tomorrow. So maybe get ahead of yourself a little bit there, Penn. But yeah, get your hashtag RaiseIts in the comment here while we kind of roll through this here. But yeah, I mean, like you mentioned, this was about as perfect a game that you could play. They only gave up 2 hits, shut out the Padres. They were never really in danger of giving up runs in this game. It was a pretty easy going, stress-free ball game for the most part. And the Pirates got on board early in the first inning, and then they just never looked back. I mean, you had Oneil Cruz start off the game with a double. Andrew McCutchen gets on with the walk, and then Bryan Reynolds with the RBI single in the first to give the Pirates a 1-0 lead. And then Bailey Falter, let's just kind of talk about him. It was interesting to see this pitching matchup because, like, I thought the Pirates got to Cease. He didn't even really finish his 5 innings, and he's a really good pitcher. They faced Cease twice so far this year, and he has failed to go 5 innings either time against the Pirates, which is wild to think about. But the contrast between these two guys, like Dylan Cease is the sexy arm with the really good stuff. He was getting swings and misses, 13 whiffs for Dylan Cease. He struck out 6 batters in 4 2/3. But he gave up 7 hits and he walked a batter. And then Bailey Falter just kind of ho-hums his ways, throwing 91, 92 mile-an-hour fastballs up there. And he gives up just 2 hits, Doug. strikes out only one batter, but
not
two
into the
hits,
6th inning, right? He didn't have a
2
strikeout to the
hits
6th
and
inning.
1 walk. I mean, 6 1/3 scoreless from Bailey Falter for May. Doug, 0.76 ERA in May for Bailey Falter.
It might be June for Bryan Reynolds. It's still May for Bailey Falter, right? It's just been lights out in May. Yeah, I mean, I think Donald Hall mentioned it. I mean, he has to be pitcher of the month for May, right? Who's been better than him? I mean, it's just it's so funny watching him pitch. He always looks like defeated. His shoulders are slumped. He's taking the deep sighs, and he looks like he's so frustrated, but just efficiently, nothing, not blazing stuff, not just throwing strikes, getting grounders, like I said, not a strikeout to the 6th inning. And that's an oddity in today's game. I mean, guys strike out, and it just, he just went through them. Didn't matter who it was, didn't matter how good they were. He just, and after each pitch, he looked like he was so disappointed with it. I mean, this guy's having this lights out game, having a lights out month. And you watch his body language, and you're like, this guy, he must have given up 9 runs.
Yeah.
It's just so interesting to see him pitch. He's just, especially compared to, when we're watching the 2 guys that go before him, and Skeens and Keller. And they're these big, strong looking guys who are just mowing people down, and, great stuff. And then he just comes in, and you're just like, there's no way this guy can go through this lineup like that. And like I said, he was never really threatened. Maybe a little bit in the 1st inning, but he gets a double play to get out of it, and again, we didn't really feel it like that either. It was right. The Pirates then scored, and just one at a time, kept tacking them on. And it was just a fun, easy, relaxing game to watch. And we don't get a lot of those.
Yeah. I want to talk about, just very heavy with the fastball today. If you just look at like a sinker slider combo, that made up 58% of his pitches today. And it was just weak contact. It was placing those pitches perfectly. He was jamming hitters all night, getting like weak ground balls. The double plays were a huge factor today. 2 double plays induced to clear off the runners that did come on base. I mean, you look, he pitched 6 1/3 innings. I think he only faced, he's faced 20 batters. So he faced 1 above the minimum through his 6 1/3 innings. And like anytime he's able to locate that fastball, it's just, it's so tough to hit him, because it just gets on you so quick. It gets on you quicker than you expect. And like the extension, we talk about it, and they talk about it all the time. Like, it's a real thing. When he's putting that fastball where he wants it, it gets on those hitters, and they're not able to do much with it. And you look at today, like the average exit velocity off Bailey Falter today was 88.1.
Right.
That's really weak contact.
No barrels, right? Yeah, no barrels. Yeah. And this is a good hitting team. Yeah. Right. This isn't some weak hitting lineup. I mean, these are a bunch of guys that can hit the ball hard, and they just didn't stand a chance against Falter. I mean, you mentioned the extension, and it was so funny when they started talking about that last year. You're like, what's the extension? We never really heard that much about it, and now you're like, wow, okay. Kudos, Ben Cherington. You identified something there in Falter, and have you guys, they've coached it up and exploited it, and it's been great. I mean, it's just like I said, it's just so fun to watch him pitch, because it doesn't look like, it looks like he's almost throwing batting practice. I mean, it just looks so different than what we're used to seeing, 90% of the time with most pitchers out there. And he just goes through them. I'm curious why they're not letting him pitch a little deeper into the game. Clearly what they're doing is working. But yeah. I think he threw 79 pitches tonight. It seems like he
79 pitches. Yep.
Could have gone another, inning, or, another 2 batters or whatever. But maybe it seems like they're, they're like, hey, we're getting him out on a high note. So I mean, it's hard to argue with the results, and then the bullpen was fine. So, but I am curious why they're sort of, I don't know if babying him is the right word, but they're not letting him get to 90 pitches.
Right. I don't know if they're necessarily babying him, but there is something to it where they're not wanting him to face a lineup 3-4 times,
Right.
and it's working. I mean, it's hard to argue with the results. I mean,
right,
he's a
exactly.
3.14 ERA, and we're sitting here on June 1st. That's incredible stuff that you're seeing out of Bailey Falter. Phoenix Wayne, shout out, new member. So anybody can become a new member just by hitting the join button. Gets you access to some cool emojis and a way to support the show. But yeah, appreciate you, Phoenix Wayne. But yeah, I mean, you can't be happier with how he's pitching. And today was just as good as you're gonna ever see him. It's as good as you're gonna see him.
Yeah,
it was just outstanding today. I said perfect placement of those fastballs, and he worked his slider off of that, and that's really all he needed. Like that's all he needed today, and got the job done. My dogs are barking at something. Apologize about that. Bucko Mike's going to be all over me about feeding the dogs now. But let's continue on here. So we got the 1-0 lead there in the first, and then the Pirates add on again in the fourth. Adam Frazier with a 2-out double, just kind of places it. It was right after Henry Davis hits a 109-mile-an-hour line out to center field. Then Adam Frazier just pokes a little 88-mile-an-hour double into the left field corner. And then Brian Hayes, who has been ice cold, comes through with a 2-out RBI single. I think he was like 0 for 24 or something heading into that.
Yeah, it was kind of there was a weird little oddity going in tonight's game until Spencer Horwitz blew it up. But the Pirates' first 4 runs were scored by, all manufactured by Neil Huntington players. Cruz gets a double, Reynolds, knocks him in. Frazier gets a double, Hayes knocks him in. Kutch hits a home run, and then Reynolds knocks in Cruz for the 4th run. And then Spencer Horwitz has to dink that little one over Machado's head and just out of his reach, and that gets it. And then all the pitching, all the outs that got were by Ben Cherington acquisition. So it was kind of it just was one of those things that was kind of, just kept popping up in my head that, shows how this team is being put together.
Doug taking the 5-0 win to push a narrative here. I love it.
Well, it's partially. Cherington.
It's true. It's
pitching, right. He's developed
true.
pitching. There's, it is. There's something to say, because as much as we do hate on him and do think he should be fired and want him fired, Bailey Falter was a great find. Bednar, and we get a little upset with Bednar, but Bednar was a great acquisition. Dennis Santana, a great acquisition. I don't want to get on the Ben Cherington bandwagon, but that, watching Falter pitch, we gave up, Castro for him.
It's one of, honestly, I think it's the best trade that Ben Cherington's made.
Yeah, I think you're probably right.
For Bailey Falter.
Yeah.
Oh. Shout out Penn, also gifting 5 memberships. Awesome. Thank you, Penn. Yeah, so 2-0 lead there in the 4th, and then Pirates add on again. Andrew McCutchen with a solo homer in the 5th. Andrew McCutchen 2 for 4 today with a walk. OPS now up to, if my math is correct, 758 on the year.
That's what it says anyway.
Is that what I've got here? I gotta add.
That's what my box score says.
That's what I'm adding in my head at 12:45 at night. It's not a good idea. But weighted runs created plus now up to 114, which is better than I would have expected Andrew McCutchen to do at age 38. He just keeps on hitting, keeps on giving you good at bats. His strikeout numbers are as low as they've ever been really in his career. He's walking just as much as you'd like to see it. And again, his 4th homer of the year today. I think that homer put him 1 behind Roberto Clemente.
Yes.
On the Pirates all-time list. So he's creeping up on that list very close. And I think once you pass Clemente, it's just Stargell,
Ralph Kiner's next
and
at
Kiner,
301.
right?
Yeah,
Like that's
right.
it. Like I
Yeah,
think that's all there is.
He'll be third on the all-time Pirates list.
Yeah.
But unless something miraculous happens, he's not going to get to Kiner with 301.
Yeah.
And same thing with the hits. He's not going to get to Mazeroski with 2000 and some. So,
Yeah.
But it's not. I mean, when you get mentioned with those names, again, it's all Hall of Fame players we're discussing.
Yep.
His case. We all know it's a little shaky, but I don't know. As we come to terms with the numbers of today's baseball, his numbers are starting to look pretty good and pretty impressive, and yeah. I mean, it's great that he's on the team, and it's great that he's playing as well as he is.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday he hit he got his 1,710th hit as a Pirate. That put him 9th all time. And if you look at that Pirates all-time hits list, 1 through 10, Roberto Clemente, Hall of Famer. Honus Wagner, Hall of Famer. Paul Waner, Hall of Famer. Max Carey, Hall of Famer. Pie Trainer, Hall of Famer. Lloyd Wainer, Hall of Famer. Stargell, Hall of Famer. Mazeroski, Hall of Famer. Andrew McCutchen. Right. So, and then Archie Vaughn, 10th, Hall of Famer. Yeah, so, every other person on that list, Sean, shout out to you, too, for the 10 memberships. Every other person on that list is in the Hall of Fame. So, yeah, I it's going to be curious. I mean, I don't want to turn this into an Andrew McCutchen Hall of Fame show, but he's just racking up numbers. And when you look at his overall body of work, the doubles, the hits, the homers, the defense, the stolen bases, if you look at just everything, there are not a lot of players who have done what Andrew McCutchen has done over the course of his career. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting case because I don't know if there's not one thing that really stands out with him.
Right. But he doesn't have that, it was this many stolen bases or but it's just everything is really good. Right.
Yeah. Everything's good. So it's going to be a curious
he had
case.
the 5 years of dominance, right? He won an MVP. Man, playoff success would be so great. If he could just have a nice playoff run.
Yeah, that's what he's missing. He's missing some hardware,
right,
and that big moment in a big game in the playoffs,
a walk-off home run to get you into the World Series, or just something, whatever, just some great game to really turn a thing around.
Yep. But that home run, that gave the Pirates a 3-0 lead, and then they added on again in the 7th. The Padres bring in Matsui to face Cruz with the lefty-lefty matchup, and I thought Cruz had an outstanding at bat. Singles it to center, just kind of took the ball the other way, hit the ball hard. So Cruz singles, Kutch singles, Reynolds doubles, Horwitz singles. So Padres bring in the lefty, and then you just go 4 for 4 off of him,
4 for 4,
and then he gets pulled. So just again, just a really, really good work. I mean, the top of the order produced tonight, the bottom of the order produced tonight. IKF with 2 hits, but between Cruz, McCutchen, and Reynolds, I mean, they had 7 hits between the 3 of them, 3 runs batted in, 4 runs scored. That's just what the team's just been missing that for the entire season. There's been Cruz or there's been Kutch, but you've never. When was the last time we had Cruz, McCutchen, and Reynolds all have multi-hit games?
Right.
Has that happened at all?
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it. It's it seems like we'll get the bottom of the lineup to produce, but then those guys can't. We just can't seem to string them together like that, and we need the top of this order to, I mean, it's the only way the Pirates are going to be successful is if we're getting production from those guys. And Ryan and I talked about it last night. It's with Horowitz looking like he might be able to hit, with Henry looking like he's improving a little, Canario playing a little better. It's if you squint, that's a pretty solid 1 through 6. And then you got IKF down there batting 9th, and he's hitting 300. So with the pitching that if we pitch the way we're capable of, and if these guys can start stringing some hits together, again, 5 runs. It wasn't an offensive explosion. There wasn't ever really a big inning. We scored, 1 in the first, and then 1. Again, it was 1-1-1, and then we scored 2, I think, in that last inning. So, but again, just tacking on something they haven't done, right? I mean, early in the season, so often all our runs were scored in 1 inning. regardless of what it was. If it was 2, it was 3-1, right? And then, the rest of the game, it was 14 strikeouts, and, we didn't get a hit from the third inning on, that sort of thing. And this, I mean, they did something they rarely do. They put pressure on the defense. They put pressure on the pitcher tonight throughout the game. And this is as good a game as they've played. Just top to bottom, man to man to every person that contributed. So it was, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was a fun game. Right? It was a fun game. You mentioned Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, and there's some comments. 304 batting average now. I mean, he's not really slugging. Like he does have 9 doubles, so I guess he's placing some balls well. But slugging 391, he's on 353 on base percentage, 304 average. Doug, that's 6th best in the National League. Like
right. People don't hit 300 anymore, right? I mean, that's 300.
Not a lot of people doing it.
Yeah. No, that's rare air these days, right? I mean, it's something. And as far as his slugging, look at Joey Bart's. He's got more extra base hits than Joey Bart at this point. So, and again, if you got the other guys producing the way they're supposed to, this guy's moving the line, right? He's getting on base and getting in front, these big hitters, or our version of big hitters, I guess. And so yeah, it's like not everybody has to crush the ball. Get on base and move runners over, that sort of thing. And that's what he's doing. So I don't know.
I really like
what
him.
He's doing.
I really like him at that 9 spot too, because I feel like he's constantly giving opportunities to Cruz, McCutchen, Reynolds. So I like seeing that. Like he just seems very comfortable in that 9 spot. He's getting on base. He's getting hits, and he's helping make offense. So that was the 7th. 5-0 lead. After that, Bailey Falter comes back out to start the bottom of the 7th. He gets Luis Arraez. Caleb Ferguson comes in. We mentioned before, kind of pulling Falter a little early. He finished with 79 pitches, but you bring in Caleb Ferguson. He gets 2 outs, and then Santana with a scoreless 8th. Probably like the most inefficient, scary inning Santana's thrown in a while. It's not
right,
like
2 walks,
again,
right.
It was a 5-0 game, but yeah, he walked 2 batters, which you're usually like the typical Dennis Santana inning right now is like 1, 2, 3 with like 10 pitches. I feel like that's just like every time out.
He'd only walked 3 batters all season. So for him to walk 2 in an inning is quite the aberration, right? He has been so efficient. So it was a surprise, but no harm, no foul. And we get the ball to Bednar. So
yeah, so Santana with the scoreless 8th. Bednar comes in, pitches a 1, 2, 3, 9th inning. So again, just 2 hits allowed by Pirates pitching today. 2 hits, 3 walks, only 5 base runners. They turned 2 double plays. They only faced 30 batters today, Doug.
Right.
30 batters.
Right.
Yeah, it doesn't get much. It doesn't get much better than that.
No, we out hit them 12-2.
And again, it's a good Padres offense.
Yeah, right. A bunch of all-star type hitters, guys that have won 3 consecutive batting titles. That kind.
I would say we talk about how like it's hard to hit 300. Like Jackson Merrill's hitting 322, Manny Machado's hitting 308, Luis Arraez 285. Like this is a good lineup. And then you've got Bogarts, Sheets is crushing the ball.
Yeah,
and then you've got Tatis right there at the top of the lineup. Having a potential MVP caliber season. So yeah, it was an outstanding game just across the board. And like I said, I think what was fun about it was just like completely stress-free. The Padres only had 3 at-bats today where they even had a runner in scoring position. They went 0 for 3 in those 3 at-bats. Yeah, I mean, just masterclass by Bailey Falter. I want to read a stat here. This is via Noah Hiles on Twitter, if I can find it. But the month that Bailey Falter put up this month in May, let's take a peek here. Per Pirates PR, Bailey Falter's 0.76 ERA in May is the 3rd lowest by any Pirate in a single month in the live ball era, which is since
Zane
1920.
Smith, baby.
Zane Smith in September of 1990, and then Paul Skeens in the September of 2024. So it's the third best month a Pirates pitcher has put together in 105 years.
Yeah.
Bailey Falter.
Right. Yeah, I mean, like we traded Moises Alou to get Zane Smith. We used the first overall pick in the draft to get Paul Skeens. We were, both teams were just kind of shifting around deck chairs for the Bailey Falter trade, right? It was, the Athletic did not do a big article on that trade and the possible impact it could have. I mean, that was kind of just like a throw-in type thing. And just a brilliant, I mean, he's been so good for us. And, and just brilliant this month. And, he's been really dominant at home and not as good on the road, but that's not been the case. That's not been the case this month. He is, it doesn't matter where he's pitching. He has been terrific. And, again, on a team with, all these flamethrowers and kind of sexy names, and he's just going out, not doing it with not too much fanfare, not sexy, dazzling stuff or anything like that. Just throwing that fastball and getting it done.
Yeah. 16th best ERA now in the National League. The Pirates, and this is just what's so frustrating. And the Pirates scored 5 runs today. They won handily. That's just all. That's all they need to do, Doug. They just need to score like 4 to 5 runs a game.
4 to 5 runs,
and they're gonna be competitive. Listen to as far as National League ERA leaders, Mitch Keller 24th, Bailey Falter 16th, Andrew Heaney 19th, Paul Skeens 3rd. Like they've got 4 pitchers in the top 24 in ERA. 4 of the top 24. That's what 24 divided. That's 1/6 of the top 24 pitchers in the National League are Pittsburgh Pirates.
Right. And again, like I said, it just tells you it's simple. 4 runs or more. And this is a really, competitive team, right? I mean, they should be in a whole lot of games if they can stick to that little formula. And here recently, they've done it. What's Donnie Kelly now? Is he 10-10 or 10-11? What's his?
Don Kelly is now 10-11.
Yeah,
10-11. If you want to only count games that he finished, though, Doug, which is apparently a stat, if we want to really push a narrative here, 10-8 in games that Donnie Kelly starts and finishes as manager. Do we want? Let's just roll with that. We're going to do Donnie. We're pushing the Donnie ball.
That's
narrative.
What statistics are for. To push your narrative. So
10-8 in games where Don Kelly manages the entire game.
We love you, Neil. We love you.
Yeah, take that, Neil. All right. Well, is it sandwich time, Doug? It's 1 o'clock in the morning.
Absolutely.
If you haven't yet, put in your hashtag raise it, just like Rob here. Hashtag raise it. That'll get you into the contest for 2 free Primanti Brothers sandwiches. We're giving 2 sandwiches to 2 different people. So yeah, let's go and do that. All right, we got 107 entries.
Good luck, everybody.
Good luck. Again, if you win, make sure you have the Primanti's app downloaded on your smartphone. All you'll want to do is message us your name and your email, and we'll make sure those sandwiches get deposited right into your account on your app. So first winner, Adam Perry. Congratulations, Adam Perry. I think that's a new winner. I don't think we've had Adam win before. So.
Yeah, it says it's 7 a.m. in Naples, and he wants sandwiches. Well, he got them. Congratulations, Adam.
There you go, Adam.
I mean,
next time you come to Pittsburgh. Yeah. Winning sandwiches, it's an international affair here.
Right.
International affair. So congrats, Adam. Next winner, again, DM us, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, whatever your preferred social media is. Would you need your name, your email, or you can email us at northshore9@gmail.com. Winner number 2, Jamie Kelly. Congratulations, Jamie. Again, make sure you have the Primanti's app downloaded. Message us your email, and we'll get those out to you. So good stuff, Doug. Good stuff.
It's so much more fun to to talk about a game like this. I mean, just a joy. It's just so nice, Tomorrow, June 1st, I'm expecting Bryan Reynolds to, go 5 for 5, and hey, maybe we can get Donnie Kelly to 11-11 in games that he started. So
yeah. Andrew Heaney versus Randy Vasquez tomorrow. Two pitchers, they've both been pitching pretty good. Heaney 3-4, 3.41 ERA. Vasquez 3-4, 3.58 ERA. That's at 5:10 p.m. Eastern. But we'll be on right after that with the post-game show, hopefully celebrating a series win and with more sandwiches.
Yeah, I mean, that's a nice little trip if you can go to Arizona and San Diego and take 2 series. So hopefully we can get that done tomorrow. Hopefully Heaney's up to the task, and the offense can just keep slapping away, just keep stringing those hits together.
Yeah, they've already guaranteed a 500 road trip. So if you win tomorrow and you go 4-2 against the Diamondbacks and the Padres on the road, absolutely, you feel
right. Those are 2 places we don't play well. We have never played well there. So that's nice. That's impressive, and a positive regression, I think Neil might have called it.
Yeah. Anyways, I said, appreciate everybody. I said, Penn with the super chat, Phoenix new member, Penn gifting memberships, Eddie gifting a membership, Sean gifting memberships today. You guys are awesome. Appreciate each and every one of you guys.
At 1 a.m. is just amazing.
You all rock.
I get why you'd want to talk about this game. We haven't had a lot like this one, so
this was one of the good ones.
Thanks for joining us.
So, all right, guys, we are out. We'll see you tomorrow. Go Bucks.
Go Bucks.
All right, that wraps up this episode of North Shore 9. Thanks so much for tuning in, whether you're listening on the podcast or catching us on YouTube. If you enjoyed the show, please give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It really helps us grow. And if you're listening on the podcast, a quick review goes a long way in helping others find the show. Plus, be sure to tell a friend about us. There's always room for more here in the NS9 community. And for those looking to support us a little more, consider joining our Patreon, become an MVP member, and get exclusive perks while helping us continue to bring you more of the Pirates content you love. Thanks again for all your support, and let's go Bucks.